Hello and welcome back to the Artisfy Codecast. Today we're going to be finishing up our to-dos from last time, including making some watch attributes to watch when our data changes, and getting all of the revisions code working, which is something that we started on a few days ago. Then also we're going to do a little cleanup, but it shouldn't be that much. Okay, so the first thing we have on our to-do here um, is, so I just want to quickly go over these real quick because these are the last things that we did. So on input change, sync the value of the input to the closest data output keys, and then sync the data in to the data input inputs. Okay, so if we refresh this page, let's look at our console, make sure we don't have any errors, and then if we click this, we're going to get 1 and 2 here, so that's syncing from these. And now if we put in like 3 and 3 and we click save, we can know it's working because in our code it's all working with the new code. So we've replaced these with data input inputs and data input inputs. So not the best name because our input library is called input, and then we also have text inputs here. We could call these data I text instead, so it'd be like input text. I'm not sure. Or it could be like value. No, value wouldn't work. We're already using that. Let's just leave it input for now. Okay, so the next thing on our to-dos, so we can mark this complete, don't convert between cases. So the idea here is that when we parse through the DOM, we're going to end up with something like this. CamelCase. Now, I've done a lot of thinking about this over the last few days, and I've decided that after all, I don't want to not convert between cases. So not converting between cases is just taking the attribute name as it is. So, we're going to have data dash, O dash key dash bundle dash name. So if we weren't converting the case, we would end up with something like this. And if we do convert it, we convert it to CamelCase and it looks like this. I did some research. It looks like as a best practice across the board for like JSON values, you want to use CamelCase names. So I think we are going to keep the conversion. It also just feels more natural to me. It feels like this is the way data should be represented. It's easier to access in our templates. It does take an extra millisecond or two when we're parsing through the whole page, which is actually a minor issue and could end up causing some problems down the line, but we're not going to worry about that right now. So let's just delete this to-do. Okay, now we're going to get to the exciting part. So let's actually open up a GitHub and make sure we don't have anything waiting to be committed. Okay, we do. Okay, so we'll just say like in, oh, actually, there's one thing we should check on. So is there anywhere, are there any other inputs in our inline edit code? Yep, we have a few more inputs. So we want to convert these all to data I input, and then we want to get the key name. Oh, okay, so this is the other thing. Since we are converting between cases, we're going to use bundle name in here. So that's CamelCase. So when we're doing the watcher, let's see. No, this is fine. Attribute. Yeah, that one's fine. It's the syncing of the data. That's not going to be fine. So we're looking for the dash case key name here. We don't want to do that. And we actually might want to change something here too. Okay, so let me make sure. So we're watching for input on this input element. This is the input element. We're getting its value. The key name is going to be CamelCase. So let's spell it out. CamelCase, CamelCase key name, and then we'll put that here, and we're not using it anywhere else. Okay, so yeah, that's not going to work. Okay, so we want to import the to-case function here. So we're going to go into GitHub. We're going to, oh wait, do we already have our string functions? We do. Okay, so we're going to import CamelCase to-. And it's going to be like that. And then we're going to say from, and we're going to say string functions, because that's the name of this package. Okay, so now we have CamelCase to-, and we could just wrap this here, or we could do it as like a separate step. I don't know. I guess let's do it as a separate step. Like, what the heck, right? So like we'll do -case key name, and we'll do CamelCase to-. We'll plug that in there. We'll say 3 convert CamelCase to -case, and from the, we'll say from the -case key name, and then we'll just plug this in there. So it's just like super clear what's happening. I mean, if we are going to be converting back and forth, we just want to make it clear that we're converting back and forth. Because like, yeah, someone might build something on top of this, and if it's very clear, like, oh, they're converting the CamelCase here, they're converting the -case there, now it gets into their head, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna have to think about converting the case if I build on top of this library. And that's another reason why I didn't want to convert the case, is because I don't want to have people think about that, right? Ideally. But it just turns out that it's a better way to represent the data as CamelCase. Okay, so we have this one. So this one should be working now. We have this input here, so we don't need this stuff here. And we're going to be looking for inputs in here, and we're going to test all this out very soon. So here we have the bundle name, and we're going to say primary text. Oh, I forgot about something. Okay, sorry. Let's undo this. Let's go back here. So for every time we do this, we also have to add to the top level a data output, and it's going to be key bundle name, because that's the one that it's going to sync with, right? And we don't have to set it to anything, so we can just leave it like this, but this input is going to look for the closest output key to sync with. So it's very important that this is there. I could also just make the input sync with any element that has this on it, but I don't want to make it that tightly coupled. I would rather make it tightly coupled to the key that it's outputting to, because I'm still not sure what this attribute actually stands for. I mean, right now all it stands for is that it's responsible for syncing its data with another element when a save button is clicked within it, and so I don't want to like tightly couple it any more than that. Okay, so we just have to remember to add those attributes, because those are the ones that it's going to sync with. Okay, so the next thing, and that's not important for when it's syncing from the original component. It's only important for when it's syncing back to the component. Okay, so here we're going to do this. We're going to call this primary text. Primary text, okay. It's just like I'm really concerned about spelling something wrong, but that's fine. Primary text. And that, yeah, again, doesn't have to equal anything. Okay, and then we can delete this. Now we have secondary text. Secondary text. And we're gonna have data O secondary text. Okay, that looks right. And so now we can delete this. Okay, now we go down to this input. And yeah, these are the ones that we just did. So that should be good. Okay, so let's save that. Let's refresh this a couple times. Okay, so now this should work, and it's not working. So, and what if I do like A? It's not working. Okay, so that's a problem, and we're not getting an error. Okay, so let's see what's happening with that. So we have the bundle name here. So let's look at this. Let's inspect this. Make sure it has a DataInput bundle name. Okay, and then if we look up to the form, it's going to sync with the bundle name. So data O key bundle name. Okay, so that's syncing into it, right? So we're getting the data in there, which is how it should be. But it's not coming into here. And now if I write something here, it is. It's overwriting it. And then when I save it, it's not syncing back to it. Okay, so this is something, oh, this is exactly what I was going to fix over here. Okay, so we want to use the CamelCase key name. No, sorry. Yes, we want to use the CamelCase key name for the selector, and that's it. I think that's it. Okay, so we'll wait a second for that to refresh. Okay, I'll do that. And now we got it syncing. Oh, but it's not syncing back. Okay, so if we look at this, we put in a 2 here. It is showing up there. So what should be happening here is we should be getting so when we do this flat data thing and we get the matching elements, one of the matching elements should be the target element, right, which is this form, because that should match which selector? It should match this selector. And then when we loop through these, this should match on the plain attribute. So we should say has plain attribute name. The plain attribute name is equal to data-o-key dash, and in this case it's dash bundle dash name. So that should match, and then we should set the attribute. Oh no, sorry. So we're syncing back. So in this case, we're syncing back to the original element. So it should be in the bundles, in here, in the bundle name. So it should be syncing with this one, the data L. Okay, so yeah, sorry. So yeah, so it should be matching on this one. This is the selector that it should match on. it should be included in here because it's going to match the selector string. It's going to be put in first. It should match here because it has this data-l-key-bundle-name. Oh, this got overwritten somehow. Oh, no, it didn't. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. I deleted the equals dot because I set the default to be that it's the current element. So if I go into set location, it's going to get the element and the target element. If there's no selector, or if it's an empty string, it should default to the current element. And then that should be the target element, and the element attribute should be undefined, so it should default to intertext. So it should be set to this. Okay, so the location string should be the matching element and then get the attribute location attribute name, and the location attribute name is this. So I'm not positive what's happening, but we could test it out. So let's put a debugger in here, and let's refresh, and let's continue there. Let's put a 2 in here, and then press save. Oh, geez. What? Okay. We continue here, continue here. Okay, we don't have an array here yet. I press 2 and then click save. Okay, I think that was just a random thing. Okay, so we're just not getting, we're not calling the sync, I guess, on the ladder try. Well, if I put in 2 and I click save, okay, so we're not calling this when we click save. Well, let's look. So if we go into input JS and we go into the save watcher, this is saying, hey, whenever you click save button, you get the closest sync element and then you sync the data. Oh, okay, I know what it is. We are doing this, but we didn't find any matching elements. So let's do the debugger here instead. Let's click here. We'll continue. We'll put a 2 in here. We'll save. Oh man, what? Okay. Let's try up here then. Oh, okay. Well, it's possible I refreshed too early. I think I'm going to leave it there. Let's refresh a couple times. I gotta get that auto reloading in place. It's a real pain in the ass at this point. No? Okay. Okay, we'll move it up. Let's see what we got. So we'll continue there. We'll save this. We'll click save. Okay, so we should have no flat data. Okay, so the nested output. Okay, so we're not getting any data from the root node. No nested output data. No data from the root node. Okay, so this isn't working on this section. Oh, because I'm stupid. Because this needs to have a type of object. If it doesn't have a type of object, that's not going to return anything. Okay. The bundle cover is something we're not doing yet. Text area, I believe, will work the same, right? Because we can get the value from a text area. Well, first of all, let's remove, so we know the problem now. Let's get out of that. Let's refresh this. I just want to make sure. I'm pretty sure it's just value. Sorry, I'm like much more experienced in jQuery. Yeah, I think it's just value. Let's make sure it's value in every it's just jQuery. Okay, how to get, I know this is kind of stupid, but I just want to make sure. I mean, yeah, it looks pretty legit. Okay, so sorry about that. It's kind of stupid. So we have the object up there. We're going to do the data O key, and this is going to be the bundle description. And we can delete these and replace them with a DataInput. We're going to call this bundle description. This is the deliverable. So we're going to have data. Well, let's just copy this, right? Deliverable. Okay, and data I input bundle deliverable. Okay. The object, the type, in there. Okay. Wait, this is the type and the size. Yep, that makes sense. And primary text, secondary text. So we need a data O type of object on here. So that'll all sync. And then we've got these, we can get rid of that. Okay, so now it should work. So now if we refresh, if we do 2, we'll get 2 back. If we do 3, we'll get 3 back. If we delete all this and put AAA, we got AAA. This isn't syncing. Okay. Let's see what's going on with the deliverable. Okay, so the deliverable, okay, so it's just misnamed. It's supposed to be called deliverable. Maybe that's the whole issue. Let's go here, the final deliverable. Awesome. If I replace this with BBB, it saves. Awesome. Okay, let's see about this. Capture idea, oh, what happened here? Huh? Cannot read property set attribute. But where? Why? Is it in here? Query.js is not defined. Okay, what's going on with that? So if I, where is this? This is inside of the sync. So I've installed Query.js. It's pointing to that. I don't know, that's weird. Let's try this one more time. So I open this, click this, I start typing. Okay, so yeah, we got the right part of the code now. Okay, so the output element is nothing. So that's a problem. Okay, okay. So there's nothing to sync with in that case. Um, so that's my bad. If I go up, or no, down to the inline edit area, we've got the primary text and the secondary text, right? So let's search for primary text and secondary text. Did I misspell this? Primary text. Huh. Data type. Oh, it's a, I forgot, data, oh, key. Okay, key. Okay. Um, so now this should work. 2, today 2, that's awesome. 333, 333, enter. That works. Set this to yellow and blue and 4. That works. Set this to 4. That works. Set this to purple. That disappears. And that works. Okay, awesome. And now my major revisions should still work. 3 and 3. Let's see, 6 and 6. How about 6.5 for the hours? 6 hours, 30 minutes of extra work. Okay, that's awesome. So I'm not sure what we just did there. Let's see. We added data inputs for all inline edit fields. Okay, we'll commit that, push that out, go to input.js. We do, we're CamelCasing, CamelCase the key name, and is that all we did here? Yeah, that's all we did. Yeah, we might have edited some documentation, but I don't think so. And then here, same thing. Okay, so we're just CamelCasing the key name. Okay, pushing that out. String functions, added docs. And then output.js, I don't think we made any changes, but let's just make sure. Okay, cool, awesome. So the next thing I want to do is just really quick. Okay, so let's add another to-do here because we just finished this. Add data input elements in all inline edit forms. Okay. The next thing I want to do is like simplify the sync data function. This shouldn't take that long. I just really don't like how complicated this is and how many loops we're doing. Okay, so right now we get the, so first of all, let me search for all of these. So if I do \d and then \dot, and I find, oh geez. Oh, these need to be escaped? Okay. So let's find all those and let's delete them because I'm going to change this up a little bit. Okay, so, okay. First we're parsing the output keys and the location key attributes on the source element and all of their children. Okay. On and inside source element. Okay, that's fine. Use this data to create a flat object. Okay, flat data. Loop through each of the flat data's keys, and that's all. Okay. Get the value we want to sync to the target element. Convert the key name to dash case, that's fine. So these two are like a little out there, right? It doesn't matter that they're in this position right now, but the first thing we want to do is what do we have in our DOMutils? Because I want a function that will loop through a selector. I want this, but to include the parent element and to match a selector. Okay, so let's write that. What should it be called? So for what did we say here? We said this is on and inside the source element. So we want something like for this element and all children. And let's export that. It's not the best name, but that's fine. And we're gonna get the parent element, and we're going to have a callback, and this is gonna have the ability to pass in a selector. What happens if I call matches on this and I pass in an empty string? Okay. Okay, so yeah, for this and all children. For this element and for this element and all matching children. It's not an exact name because it's also going to try to match on this element. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, so what do we have here? Can we use this one? I think we can use this one. So first, let's say if parent element matches selector, we're going to do the callback on the parent element. Okay. Then we're going to do a for each all children, and we're going to do it on the parent element, and the callback is going to receive the child element. Okay. So we can just say child element. Okay. So then we're going to say if child element matches the selector, then we're going to do the callback on that element. And that should be it, right? It's just like, hey, we're so can we have a simple way of referring to the current element and all of its children, looping over them? For like DOM node members, something like that. What is a DOM node? How is that defined? The DOM is a tree structure. Okay. So I like that. For DOM node, for matching DOM node members. For matching DOM node members. And at least it'll be, it's not a great name, it's still not a great name, but at least it's esoteric enough that hopefully someone will look up like what the function actually does. You know, if they're confused, they're not just going to assume what it does, right? Okay, so for matching DOM node members. So we got the parent element, we got the selector, we got the callback. First of all, we're going to check to see if the parent element matches the selector. If it does, the callback is called with the parent element. And we're going to loop through all of the children of the parent element and see if each one matches the selector. If it does, it's called with the callback. Okay, that's pretty simple. So do I have DOMutils? I do. I have that here. So I can import DOMutils here. And I can do this one. So for matching DOM node members, and we're going to pass in, what is the element? It's the target element. And why am I not using ES6 here? I'm not sure. I guess I could be, right? Why not? Why not? Okay, so we've got the matching element, and we need to pass in a selector here. Okay, so I think we want to do this one at a time. I don't think I want to search for all of them all at the same time. So I want to do let we'll say, I think plain attribute is fine. But how about we just say like output data attribute name. Okay, so then we got the dash case key name. And then let's do the output data attribute selector. And so that's going to be very similar. So we're just going to do like open brace plus this thing plus the closing brace. And that's going to be what we're going to match on for matching DOM members, DOM node members. probably for each matching DOM node member. Okay, so now we've got the matching element. And we know it's matching on this one. So we already know it's the plain attribute. So now all we have to do is this. So we're doing less like extra work for this. So now we do this one, and we already have the value to set. So we can say like find all output data attributes, or we can just say like set all output data attributes on target element. Okay, awesome. And we're using the dash case key name first, so I guess we can put that first. I don't know. Doesn't really matter, but okay, so now let's do the same thing, except with the location attribute name. So set all location data attributes on target element. So now we have data L key, and it's the same thing here, and we're gonna replace this all with location. So we got the location name location data attribute name that goes here, that forms the location data attribute selector. We pass that in here. We have the target element, which we're looping through, as well as all of its children, and getting the matching element, and this is not going to be right. So here, what we want to do is this. So we know it's the location. So we're going to get the location string. The location string we get by getting the location data attribute name. What was that original thing? Okay, we're not using that anymore. Okay, perfect. So we get this attribute from the matching element, which is now called matching element. And then we set the location key value by passing in the matching element, the location string, and the value to set, which is defined up here. Perfect. So that's much cleaner. I like this much better already. Okay, so now we're going to set all input input data attributes on target element. I don't know, that's kind of fine. So first we're going to, how are we going to set this? It's just on the value, on the matching value. Okay, so we just need the input selector, I think. So we're going to do this. We're going to use the CamelCase key name instead for this one, because it's a little bit different. The syntax is a little bit different. That looks good for that. The input, let's call it input data attribute selector to be consistent. And then we've got the matching element, and so we're just going to do this. And we have to remember to rename matching element to matching element. So that should take care of all of this. Perfect. I think this does, yeah, it takes care of that, it takes care of that, it takes care of that, it takes care of all of this, it takes care of that, it takes care of this, and it takes care of this. Okay. So that should be perfect. And we'll say call the after save callback if it exists. Okay, perfect, perfect. And let's search for this. Yeah, That's what I thought. Okay. Cool. So hopefully this works. Hopefully I didn't like mess anything up too much. Let's add our numbers back in here. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And let's just read through real quick. So we parse the output and location key attributes on and inside the source element. We use this data to create a flat object. We loop through each key, or each, okay, sorry. We loop through loop through each of the flat data's keys, loop through each key of the flat data, convert the key name to dash case, get the value we want to sync to the target element, set all let's call this like set data on target element, and we'll say like for output data attributes, and then let's do the same thing here, and then we just say location and then input, and that makes it so that we can say like this is 6A, this is 6B, and this is 6C, just so like it's clear that they're all related. Like these are things that could happen in any order. They could be happening in parallel. It doesn't matter, right? Okay, so set data on the target element for output data attributes. We get the output data attribute, we get the selector, we go through all the elements selector, and then we just set the regular attribute. We get the location string and set the location key value. We're using this, we're using that. Okay, and then we get the input data attribute selector. If we match on any of those, we're just going to change its value. Awesome. Sweet. I think that's good. So in order to test this, all we have to do is refresh this. Let's close this. Let's edit. Oh, man. Okay. Child element matches. Okay, so let's child for each children. Child element. Okay, well, what is the child element here? Oh, it's a text node. Okay. So, child nodes. Okay, so you might not need jQuery. And let's see, child. So this suggests children. Okay, so children versus children versus kids. Oh man, it's like regular life, right? And then it's like, nope, I'm a programmer. I don't care about children and kids. I care about child nodes. Okay, so no, that's awful. It's just depressing. Okay, well, what do we got here? Node list of child nodes, children, live, which contains all the child elements. Okay. Element versus node. I don't know, core is sometimes good. Oh man, it's not clicking. Okay, got that. What is the difference between node? Okay. Well, you know what I could do? You know what I think I should do? Let's look in here, right? This gives us this right here. Okay, so an element is the most general base class from which all objects in a document inherit. It only has methods and properties common to all kinds of elements. More specific classes inherit from element. For example, the HTML element. Okay. Does it have matches? Should I skip over it? Please. What the heck? Okay. JS matches. Did I skip over it? Oh. It's there. Oh, those methods. Okay. So we got node here, properties. What? You don't have matches? Okay. Yeah, okay. So element has matches, nodes do not. I really do want to know the difference. So child nodes versus children. Which one to use? Children is a property of an element only. Only elements have children. These children are all of type element. However, child nodes is a property of node. Child nodes contain any node. So a concrete example would be text node is a node child. Element children. Of course, children is a however, is DOM shim. There's the time you want to use children because generally you don't want to loop over text nodes and comments. I agree. I don't want to loop over text nodes and comments. That's crazy. Right? That's crazy, right? Children. Hopefully I'm not breaking anything. Is that how you spell it? It just looks weird. Okay. Okay, cool. So now, for each, I think I know what's going on here. So let's zoom out a little bit. For each is not a function. And that's because if I look at, what is it? Query.js, which has caused me no end of suffering. Trying to rewrite jQuery is a stupid idea. So this gives all of my node lists the array prototype functions. Okay, so I don't know what to do. I mean, I could just write a simple loop, right? Dun 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 dun. Right? Why not? 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 Okay, fine. So for var I equals 0, I is less than link, and then I plus plus. Okay. And then we've got this. And we're not going to get, so we got to do callback children I that. Yeah, so okay, we could do this. Let child element equal that. Okay. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Why is it? Oh, okay. Why do you hate me? Why is it still? Why? No, I thought I just fixed that. Okay, well, what is child element now? Don't tell me it's a text node. Oh, it's an HTML collection. Wait, what? Oh, because I'm an idiot. Because I'm an idiot. Okay, that's fine. I like when I'm an idiot, actually. Like, when I'm an idiot and I don't think the computer's an idiot, that's the best case scenario. Okay, that syncs. Because it's just like, oh, I just have to be better. You know? It's not like, oh, the universe is broken. That looked good. Okay. And then I change this to like blue and 1. Yeah, I think that worked. And 3 and, I don't know, 2.5. Okay, perfect. Whew, oh, that was exciting, right? I don't know what to like say in here, because like I didn't make, I don't know, libraries changed. Libs changed, dude. Okay, push that. I'll never say that again. I'm sorry. Fixed for each children. I'm not going to tell myself how I fixed it, but, and this is, oh, this is no longer accurate. Dude, for each matching member, each matching, for each matching element. I don't know. I don't care. I don't care. Okay. For each matching element. Okay. And I created a new monster. Kinda. Okay, got that. Input.js. What did I do here? What did I do? Simplified the code greatly. Okay, and we'll push that out. And we didn't test the new version. I would like to do that real quick. I don't know, libs, whatever. Okay. Wait, why is that? Oh, it outputs new code because, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So let's just test like the most basic version, the most basic thing. Okay, if that syncs, I'm pretty happy with it. Let's do one timeline item. 2, 2, 2. Okay, looks like it's working. Okay, I told you that wouldn't take very long, right? Okay, so now let's get to this. These are what I've been looking forward to. I've been looking forward to do these for like a week now. Okay, let's turn on the lights. Okay, so this should be fun. Okay, so what do we got here? What do we got? What do we want to happen? Well, So basically, whenever this key changes, so when data is being synced into here, and I just want to call this function with this argument. That's all. Whenever data is being synced into here, call it. That's it. That's the only thing. That's all I care about. Okay, so let's write it. Luckily, we rewrote all this, so it's a lot easier. So set, or let's say like call. This is not a set data, so this can be its own thing. This is for input data attributes. So instead of it's watch data attributes, and this is like call functions inside of the watch data attributes. Okay. And we can say special, because they are special. So what do we want here? We want I think we're going to want the value. We are. Okay. So let's grab this just as a template. And we will call this watch data attributes. We'll go that. That works. Data-w-key dash blah blah blah. Watch data attribute selector is going to be this. We're going to loop through each of these for all the matching elements. We're going to do something amazing. Okay. What are we going to do? Well, here is the thing. We're not sure yet. So I think we can parse it the simple way. So we have this we have this parser function. What do we do? Where is that? Parse data attributes. So we could use that. That's a pretty good one. Let's open it up. See what it does. It doesn't do very much, right? So all we're gonna do. And so this is crazy right now. I'm gonna have to organize this soon. So make simple parse function. You give it an attribute and you give it some key names, and it's gonna come back with like, it's just gonna expect like some space separated things that are labeled nicely. That's all. So it gets the attribute string. If there's no attribute string, it returns an empty object, which is kind of nice. And then it gets the attribute string, it formats the spaces, so it just removes duplicate spaces and trims it. That's kind of nice. And then it splits it on empty space, and then it loops through and assigns the corresponding key name to it. Oh, yep, this won't work. This won't work because, I mean, unless I'm doing like arg1, arg2, arg3, I mean, I could do that, right? But I'm not going to know how many arguments are being passed into this function. I guess I could just do like arg1, arg2, arg3. That's fine. You know, it's not the end of the world. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna do it. I think so. You know what else I could do? What could I do? I could just like, I could just say, hey, give me a list. Give me a list back with all of the space separated things. I don't know what to do here. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it the simple way. So the simple way is just, yeah, let's write it the simple way first. So we're going to get the attribute value. I'm not going to worry about naming too much right now. And yeah, okay, let's write it out in the code. Okay, so we're going to say get the attribute value, which is going to be equal to, so a string with the function name and additional arguments. Okay, then we're going to parse the attribute value to get the function name and additional arguments. Then we're going to call the function passing in the target element, or no, matching element, the value to set, and any additional arguments. So, get the attribute value. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to define a new function here. Get space separated attribute value as an array. Okay. Get attribute value as an array. So the first thing we're going to do we're going to pass in the attribute name, and we're going to pass in the element, and we're going to do this, do that, get the attribute string. Sure, if there's no attribute string, we're going to return an empty array, because we're expecting an array, so an empty array means, hey, you're out of luck, sorry. Then we're going to format the spaces. Then we're going to return this. So that could be enough. Yeah, I think that's enough. I think that's what we're going to do. Get attribute value as array. It's kind of a silly name, but yeah, let's do it anyways. Okay, so we got, where is this from? This is from parse data attributes. We actually haven't used this here yet. Okay, so we're going to grab this guy and parse data attributes. Okay, so now we can say, okay, get the attribute value. So we're going to say let attribute, or we'll just say attribute value array, and we'll do it on the matching element using this key name. So now the problem is we might not have anything here. So let's say like if I mean I kind of like the idea of like, hey, if it's malformed, it's malformed, you're going to get an error. So let's just leave it like that for now. Okay, if it's malformed, you're going to get an error. Sorry, dude. Okay, so now we're going to parse the attribute value to get the function name and the additional arguments. So let's say like let, and we'll say special function and, oh, I don't know how to do this. How do I, can I get the rest of them here with the spread operator? Spread operator. Okay, so yeah, let's just say let special function equal this. Oops, and then additional arguments is going to equal this slice 1, right? So 1, 2, 3, slice. If it's 0, it's going to return the whole thing. 1 is the rest of it. Yeah, okay. Additional arguments. Okay, now here's the thing. Where is this function? You know, where did I define it? Well, I'm going to define it when I initialize this code. So it's going to be passed into init in input.js. So let's look inside of input.js and let's say, let's actually namespace, let's namespace this. Let's call this, because we might have additional options we want to pass in later. So it's just a good practice to namespace this. What are these? These are watch functions. Okay, so we'll just call them watch functions. Okay. Why does that look weird? I did something wrong. That's matching that, that's matching that, that's matching that. Maybe not. I don't know. I think I probably did. Okay, so we got watch functions being passed into init. So we should have like options and then input init data sync component watcher. So it's going to come in here. Sorry, wait. Okay, sync. Okay, sync. This is in input.js. Oh, the data sync component watcher is this one. It's the one that calls. Yeah. Okay. So this calls sync, and then there's another one that calls sync. It's not this one. It's not this one. This one calls sync twice, and this one doesn't. And this one doesn't. Oh, jeez. Okay. So, okay. So first of all, what do we do with this? Well, I think we're going to pass it into all, I don't know. What do we do? Oh, we could have like a global options thing that we pass around somehow. I have no idea how to do that. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna sit down. This is getting complicated. I wish I knew how to pass around data better in JavaScript. Because basically all I want right now, I just want like a little component that grabs the data, like a singleton, right? Export singleton.js. Okay, so what if we just have like import special, or what did we call it when we knitted it? Where did we? Okay, watch functions. Well, I mean, we'll probably need all the options. So like, I don't know. Let's just call it like options global. I don't know. Okay, options data, right? Because it doesn't matter. Let's just see if this works. So we'll say like import options data from options data, and we'll create this options data.js, and we'll say like export default. That, and then this is going to be the options data. So just like object assign the options to extend it, and console log options data. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, so then if we import this from here, and we console log it here, dun, 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 dun. We delete it from there. What is object assign? Object assign doesn't do a deep deep. That doesn't really matter. I mean, I don't know, I could just I could just say like equals, right? I don't know if I could just say equals. Okay, let's just leave it like that for now. Okay. I think it'll work despite myself. Okay, so now what? Oh, this isn't going to be called. This yeah, that's not going to be called. So we have to do it somewhere out here. Okay. Is refresh. Okay. Boom. And we got the watch functions. That's awesome. Okay. So that's really sweet. Okay, so we got the options data in here. So we will say like let watch, or we should actually do this up here. Well, should we do it up here? Because then it's going to be defined on the import. I don't know. Not sure. Let's do it, I guess. Okay, so let's say like if options data watch functions. I believe that's the way we're doing it, right? So when we're, why do I have so many? Oh, that's the one I wanted. Okay, watch functions. Yeah, that's the one. So if options data watch functions and options data watch functions, and we'll get the special function, then we're going to call this. So let's say like watch function. And let's call this watch function. And we'll call this watch function name. And this will go here. And we'll pass in the name. Okay, so now we have the watch function. And we'll say if watch function, then call the watch function. Then call the watch function, and we're going to pass in, call the function passing in the matching element, the value to set, and any additional arguments. Okay, so here's where it gets complicated. Okay, we have these additional arguments. We're going to add the matching element and the value to set to the additional arguments, to the, we'll just say function arguments. And unshift, what can I pass in? I just have to be one thing at a time. 4, 5, 4, 5. Okay, so additional arguments, unshift, and then we do this. and then this, and then JS. It's not call, it's apply is the one we want. No, I never want to go to that one. This one. Okay, apply numbers. Okay, so then we're going to do watch function apply, and we're going to pass in this arg. We'll say null, and we'll pass in additional arguments, and let's rename this watch func arg. Watch func name. Oops. Watch. Okay. So let's just call this watch func. So, I mean, maybe that'll work, right? Okay, so, call special functions inside of the watch data attributes. So first, we're getting the watch data attribute name, okay, with the dash case key name. Then we're getting the watch data attribute selector by just wrapping that in braces. Then we're passing that into for each matching element, and it's, ooh, how did we get that? That's not what we want. We want the selector. Oh, I think it's because we copied this. I don't know. No, I have no idea how did we just get the name there? That's weird. Okay. So then we match on the selector to get all the matching elements. We get the attribute value array. As an array of arguments. And we'll just say like attribute value args. Oops. Jeez. Okay, so we've got the attribute value args. The first one is the attribute name. The rest are the arguments that we're going to be passing in. We're going to add the matching element and the value to set as the first arguments, and then we're going to get the watch function from the options data watch functions by looking it up. If it exists, we're going to call it with this set to null and the arguments that we just put together for it. Okie dokie. So I guess let's do like 7A. That's fine. 7B, 7C, 7D. Okay, awesome. Let's test it out. Is there anything else we need to do on our to-do for this thing? So on DataSync, get the matching attribute, call the function it names, pass in the current element, the new value, followed by any arguments. Okay, well, hopefully this works. So this, let's say what we're working on. Let's sorry. Let's just like send in our commits first. Okay, working on getting watch data attributes to work. Okay, so now I shouldn't have broken this. Okay, that looks like it works. Okay, so now let's use our watch data attributes. Okay, so let's close. We're going to need that. We're probably going to need that because there's probably going to be a bug. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. We're going to need this, and we're going to need our code for revisions. Okay, so let's go down to the revisions. Are we already here? We're already here. Okay, so what did I want? Oh no, it's not this. It's not this area. Go up here. Okay, so now we want to pluralize this word. So instead of having that, we're going to do this, which is in our example. So we're going to have this. And we can say revision there as the default, but we're also going to just have this. We're going to say count pluralize word, revision, and then we're going to, in here, we're going to say pluralize word. We got the element, the new value is going to be the new value of count, and then we're going to get the word. Okay, so now let's look at what we do. We parse, so this is our current code for this. So we got the revision count. So we're going to just say like number. And then we're going to set the elements inner text based on if the number is greater than 1 or equal to 0. And yeah, I guess that's fine. Okay. So then we're going to say, okay, if it's greater than 1 or equal to 0, we're going to have we're going to return the word plus the letter S. Otherwise, we're going to return the word. Okay, so that should maybe work. And let's make sure this code isn't working by commenting it out for now. Okay, so let's refresh several thousand times. Okay, so now we have one major revision. What happens if I change this to 2? Oh my goodness, did that just work? Oh my god, it just worked on the first try. Whew. What? I just wrote all that. I mean, geez, this is like a milestone for me, I gotta say. Ooh, that's exciting. Okay, so, wow, that's awesome. That's so cool. I feel so cool. Okay, so 2 major revisions. I wanted to get rid of this up to text. So I want to just say like each, and same thing here. Okay, so now if I refresh this, okay, so I do 2, That's so cool. That's so cool. Oh, that's so cool. I love the functionality, and I love that this is all just working. Okay, so what's next? Well, let's replace the other stuff, right? So, uh, well, first, did I? There's nothing else here, right? No. Okay. So it's just this stuff. Okay, yeah, let's get the other thing working. So we got the pluralized word, and we've got the format hours. So let's add this one. So this is format hours. We're just going to do it for major revisions right now. And I want to move everything up to the top. Okay, so I have that and that. I want to add all of these up here. Hours. This is going to be 1. This is going to be on that. And so I do that, right? And this example is 0.5. Okay, so we say major data-w key count. Okay, so it's going to get that from that, and then it's a little tricky, but we'll figure it out. It's like it's so it's weird to me that I understand. Like it's not weird that I understand, but yeah, it's just like anyone else looking at this would be like, "What the fuck's going on?" Like who's not a web developer. It looks totally random and weird. Um, yeah, and it's not really doing that much. It's kind of stupid that way. Okay, so do I want to keep that there? I don't. I want to have this replace this. But who's going to keep track of the hours? Well, the hours are going to be up here. So they're going to be kept track of up there. So you don't need to worry about them. Okay, so do that, and then let's have a nice default. So there's going to be this. 0 minutes. Okay, awesome. Okay, so now we have format hours. And let's write that function. So do format hours. Oh, and there's going to be one other function that's going to be called. So let's just make it because otherwise it's going to cause an error. So we'll just make that function for now. Okay, so now format hours, we're going to get the element and the new value. And we want to output something special. Okay, so let's uncomment this. I think we want to use everything from here down to here. It's a lot of code for something that's not that hard, not that complicated. Let's make sure that it actually makes sense. So we get the number of hours, we multiply it by 60 to get the minutes. We get the hours to display, and we get the minutes to display by dividing them by 60 and getting the remainder. And then we have this time string. If we have hours to display, we add the hours to display plus a space. And then we see if it's greater than 1. If it is, we say hours. If it's not, we say hour. And then we see if there's minutes to display. If there's hours to display, we add a comma and a space after that. Otherwise, just an empty string. Then we get the minutes to display followed by a space, and then pluralize the word minutes. Okay, and then we're going to set the inner text on this element equal to time string. Okay, so let's comment that back in. We've got that. And let's make sure our new code, it all looks good, right? Just format hours. Okay. So yeah, this isn't running on the page load, so it will eventually, but right now it's not. So now if I just click, well, let's change this to 2.5. And I click save. Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. And I just put like 5,000. 5,000 hours of extra work. Okay, awesome. That is so cool. Format hours, nice. Okay, so the last thing I want to do today is just get this extra function working. Okay, so what do we have here? We added two watch functions. And we can say their names. And we can remove this revisions.js now. So delete this. And we should move this code, but we won't right now. So delete that. Okay. So it's this. Oh no, we didn't add that yet. It's format hours, and it's pluralized word. Awesome. So we'll push that. Make sure nothing's popping up in the console as an error, as like a immediate thing. Okay, cool. So now let's do this thing. So this is a cool one. I really like this one. Okay, so set namespace template data on closest. So we'll say like selector. So we're going to do lm.selector, or no, sorry, lm.closest, and we're going to get the element. So target element is equal to this. And now we're going to, we got to get the namespace thing. Okay, so it's a little annoying. Okay, so we're going to have to do a couple of tricky things. So we want to do CamelCase to dash, I believe. Okay, so we have CamelCase to dash. We're going to get, okay, so like we want to get the key name. Okay, so let's actually write this out. Okay, so first of all, we're going to get the target element by looking up, get the target element using the selector. That's what we'll say. That's not actually the first thing we want to do. The first thing we want to do is get the namespace by looking at the output key on the current element. And then we'll say convert this key to dash case. Then we're going to add the temporary data attribute, the temporary, what is it? Temporary data prefix. Oh, you know what? You know what we need for this? We're gonna need the we're gonna need this. Like, what is the thing that it's changing, right? So we're gonna need to know the key name. So that's gonna be something that's gonna have to be passed into all of these, so that we're gonna get the element, the key name, the new value, and then everything else. Key name. The key name that's being set. Sorry. Okay, so key name. So where is that being passed in? It's being passed in the sync data. So matching element and the value to set. And we also want to pass in not the dash case, but the CamelCase key name right here. Okay, so that's not too hard. Okay, so now, yeah. So CamelCase the dash. Okay, so this should be enough, I think, because now we have, jeez, major revisions. Yeah, okay, so now we have major revisions. Okay, add the temporary data prefix to the namespace followed by okay, and we'll say like convert the the data's key name, I guess, to dash case, and then add add the temporary data prefix to, or like prepend the temporary data indicator to these dash case key key names. Construct the temporary data attribute name by prepending, I'll put that in parentheses. Get the target element using the selector, and then set the temp data attribute name to the new value. Okay, so it shouldn't be that hard. Okay, and this is going to be down here. Okay, get the namespace by looking at the output key on the current element. So we're going to get element get attribute, and we're going to say let namespace key name equal that, and we're going to look for data o key. Okay, now we're going to say let dash case namespace key name equal CamelCase to dash. And now you know why I didn't want to keep converting back and forth, because this gets tiring, really. Okay, so we got the dash case name, the dash case namespace. Oh, namespace is one word. Dash case namespace key name. I like saying that. Okay, and we're gonna also convert I don't know, what should we call this? I don't know, data key name. I don't know what else to say. So, and we're gonna call this like dash case data key name, or just dash case key name, that's fine. And we're gonna CamelCase to dash again, and we're gonna do that on this one. And then we'll say let temp data attribute name is equal to data.t dash key, I think. Yeah. Yeah, so I think this should be over here. Oops. Okay, key dash, and then we got plus, and then we've got the namespace, and then we've got the dash case key name, and then we've got the target element, and we're going to set attribute temp data attribute name to this new value. And I think that'll work. Okay, so I'm going to pause real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So let's test this out, see if it works. So we will string functions. Oh, I didn't install string functions. Package. We don't have string functions in here? Nope. Okay, so we're going to go into here. Oh, do I? Okay, so we'll do npm install dot slash string functions. Whew. So weird it takes so long. Okay, so refresh. We're good. Okay, so now we're going to go into here. We're going to, and we're going to go into our bundles, okay? And we're going to set the namespace on the details section. So the details section is up there. So this is the one that should get the data, the temporary data set. Okay, and it should be based on the count. So if I change the count, it worked. Oh wait, oh okay. So the namespace thing needs a dash after it. So I'll do that. Awesome. Okay, so now if I refresh, when I do 2, so now we can use this okay, so we'll call this like details section revisions. And now let's go into our SAS file. This is, I admit, this is getting kind of out of hand. I have to admit, it is getting a little out of hand. Okay, partials, bundles, main. Okay, so we've got a details section. Details section. And we're going to say and revisions. And we're going to do this. And we're going to say, hey, if this thing, this very long string, equals 0, now I'll tell you what I want you to do. I want you to hide this. Okay, so details list item. What's going to be this one? And you're going to do display none. So now if I change this to 0 and I save it, oh, T details section dash dash revisions data T key major revisions count is 0 data O key weird. Well, okay, maybe I refreshed too fast. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Is it reloading based on the SAS? I think so. Let's see, if I clear this and then I say like display block. Yeah. I think so. Okay, so, oh, I got it. Okay, this should be an and. Got it. Okay. Okay, so now we got 0, save, it'll be gone. Now we would also want to add it back, right? So we'd want to have a button here that says like, add major or add minor, right? But now we have the ability to do that because at this top level of the component, we have this temporary key that says, hey, this is set to 0. So we're keeping track of that at the top level of this element, which is pretty cool. I think it's a pretty cool thing. It's a little complicated. This is obviously a little bit long of a name, but we wouldn't always need to have it namespaced, right? In a lot of cases, we could just have the data T key and then the count, right? In this case, we need to have it namespaced because we're also working with minor revisions here. Okay, so let's, I'm just going to finish up really quick by grabbing, actually, this whole this whole section and copying. Oh, we just got list item. So this is going to be for minor revisions. We're going to delete this. We're going to have the hours be 0.5. It's going to be minor revisions. This is going to be minor. And that's it. I think that's the only difference. So now reload. I'll save this just to mimic like what it's actually going to look like. Awesome. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do for now. Next time on init, we're going to look for all of the data-w elements and call the like make sure that they call their functions, which should also it should make our code more modular because we're going to split out this code here. So yeah, we're probably going to split out this code there. Okay, so yep, but I'm not going to do that right now because that sounds like a lot of work. We'll say new watch function. Awesome. And input.js. Also passing in the CamelCase key name to any watch functions. Okay. Cool. Thank you for sticking with me and watching this, to any that did, and I really appreciate it. I'm having a fun time here. I'm not sure how much value I'm providing other people. Part of this is just practice and just like trying to build my own front-end library. It's just it's kind of a fun thing to do, and it really has been a blast. I really enjoy doing this kind of work, and it lets me just kind of like think through things how I would want to think through them. But I think what I really owe other people is like a video that kind of succinctly states everything and like has like kind of a like it's not just me like thinking through things, right? And I feel like a lot of these videos are me just thinking through things. So I think in the future, what I would love to do is just kind of like quickly explain everything that I've done and the power of this library and why you might want to use a library like this, to like quickly build out a new application. Like do, quick, you're done, right? So Yeah, I mean, I think I will do that at some point, and right now I think of these videos and this video as just practice leading up to, some kind of final video where, I can really succinctly state, this is what this library does, this is how I built it, this is why I built it this way, and this is why it's awesome, and this is why you should use it too. And, I had fun building this part and fun building that part. Maybe those are several different videos, right? Like maybe I have one where it's like, this is why it's fun, this is why you should use it, and I have another one where I'm like, this is why it was hard to make, and these are all the technical decisions I made. But just like two really like short, like 10 or 20-minute videos, I think would really bring everything home and, give me some validation because, building all of this stuff solo it's a hard task, right? It's a lot of me just like kind of hoping like, oh, I hope I'll use this, in the future, and I hope maybe I'm helping someone else, use this and so it's just yeah, it's kind of hard just doing this alone without any feedback. So I would love to, make a quick like 10, 15-minute video showing, how awesome this is, how awesome it is to work with, why you might want to use it, and then, hopefully other people will want to use it too. Okay, I will talk to you later. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.